Elimination communication, or infant potty training. This is a super interesting concept. I learned about it for the first time because Amy from The Big Bang Theory, I don't remember her real name, she was on a talk show and she was talking about how she did this with her kids, and it blew my mind. And then as soon as it came up, infant communication came up in our lecture, I immediately thought about this because communication plays a huge role. So what it is, this is at baseline potty training that happens between birth to 4 months old. Well, it starts between birth and 4 months old. A lot of parents wait a little bit after they get baby home because they have to get in the routine of being a new parent before they can add this kind of thing in, because it is time consuming and it is a bit of a learning curve. But this is a crazy concept because the average potty training in the US is between 2 and 3 years old. So it wasn't always that old. It actually typically was a lot younger, but as you can see, in 1947, 60% was actually trained by 18 months, and in places like Africa, Asia, and even Europe, before their second birthday, they would be fully potty trained. And this is all from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Why we don't do it now, a history of diapers. It's actually less of a history of diapers and more of this guy. In the 1950s, experts advocated for a more gentle and relaxed approach to potty training, and in the 60s, Brazelton advocated for even more gentler approach called child-centered potty training, which we talked about in class. He encouraged parents to allow children to create their own timetable when it came time to give up diapers, and basically just for parents to take the cues from the kid before implementing potty training. And this is because potty training too early can cause issues. We'll talk about that some more later. And then this push for child-centered potty training actually came about around the time that disposable diapers were created and made public. So the convenience of disposable diapers and the child-centered philosophy kind of worked in tandem and made the age for potty training creep up to 2-3 years. How it works. So there's a lot of components to making elimination communication work. These are the 3 ones that I wanted to highlight. Expectations gotta be low, patience gotta be high. Accidents are gonna happen, messes are gonna happen, it's not gonna be perfect from start to finish. There's gonna be slip-ups, there's gonna be things that happen that you weren't expecting, but it doesn't mean it can't work. If accidents are happening a lot, then it might just not be the right time to start it. You might have to wait a little bit longer, or just not do it at all and do more of the child-centered approach, because baby's not grasping the concept. And there's kind of, it's not linear. There's a lot of babies that they'll do really, really good with elimination communication for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden they're using their diapers a lot. And the biggest thing with this is there should be no punishments or pressure for baby, because it's not about, it is about convenience, but it's also about baby and what's best for baby. So punishing and pressuring is just going to make baby not really want to be engaged in it in a positive way. So you got to keep the experience positive for baby to gain what they want to gain from it. Second thing, this is really the biggest thing, communication is key. You have to watch and learn baby's patterns, their cues, their gestures, their noises that are going to tell you when baby has to go to the bathroom. This could be they eat and then 15 minutes later they got to go to the bathroom, or they get fussy when they got to go, or they make a facial expression or do a certain gesture, like kick their legs, something along those lines. It's going to tell you, hey, it's time, I got to get baby to the toilet. When baby's on the toilet, there's a verbal cue that should happen, like a s or a go potty, or some sort of thing that they can start associating with eliminating. This will just help in the long run, because if you have to take baby to the bathroom because you're going to be leaving the house and you want to be proactive about it. You want to kind of trigger that response to make baby go, or at least try to go, because it just may not be time for them. They may not have to. The third thing is flexibility. You got to do what works best for you, the lifestyle, the family dynamic, the baby's dynamic. It's not going to be one size fits all for every family. There's a lot of elimination communication groups that you can be a part of on Facebook, on other websites. I did reference one. I'll bring that up later. So it's not one size fits all. You got to do what's best for you. You have to make adjustments. And this could mean the use of diapers between using the bathroom or at nighttime to prevent accidents in bed. Well, not prevent the accident, but prevent a mess from the accident. And then between, like, as a supplemental thing, use diapers to just, help you not have to clean up messes off the floor or the bed or whatever baby's in. So that brings us to the advantages. The biggest one that I think is super important about this is the caregiver-baby bonding. There's two aspects to this: closeness and communication. Closeness because you are spending a lot of time with baby, you're learning about baby, you're watching baby. Basically you're learning about them, so you're spending time together. That brings you closer with baby. Communication, you're learning about their cues, you're learning about how they communicate, and in the process of learning elimination cues, you're going to learn I'm hungry cues, I'm tired cues, I want to play cues, all those kinds of things. So you are actively being a part of communicating with your child, and you're communicating back to them by responding to their needs. The second one's comfort. Baby does not have to be sitting in a wet, poopy diaper. They don't have to go through that distress of being uncomfortable, diaper rash, that kind of thing. Independence. Once baby becomes more mobile, they can actually start going to the bathroom by themselves because they already know how to. They just now can get themselves there without you carrying them or holding them. And it increases their sense of self. They don't rely on you to change their diaper or get them to the bathroom. So it does increase their sense of independence. Another thing is it reduces diaper waste. I'll quote this: according to the Environmental Protection Agency, disposable diapers last for centuries in landfills, and the U.S. generates over 4 million tons of them a year. That is a lot of diapers. What I didn't quote is it reduces cloth diaper waste. Cloth diapers are significantly less wasteful because of the reusable factor, the washing them, but even them, after a while, you do have to throw them away. And it is a natural thing that happens. Everybody poops, everybody pees, and different cultures like Asia and Africa in particular, they actually do use more diaper-free approaches. They walk around with their babies bare-bottomed, and they anticipate those elimination needs, and they hold baby away from them, or they take them to the toilet, whatever's convenient or whatever is culturally appropriate for them to do. And eventually that awareness that we see in those cultures, that becomes a routine, and it really is less of like, I have to watch baby all the time to know when they need to go, and it becomes more of just like, I know they gotta go. It's a routine. Disadvantages, because there's always two sides. Time and dedication. It is a very time-consuming process. It's a very dedicated process. You have to be on top of it, because if you start letting baby go in their diaper, then they're going to be used to going in their diaper, and it's going to set them back on the potty training element. So this can interfere if parent or caregiver works full-time, or if they have to rely on other forms of childcare like daycares that can't really implement those practices within their facilities, because it's just not how daycares do. Another thing is baby's physical readiness. The sensation of elimination starts around 12 months, and the control, they don't have a lot of control over it by 18 months even. So baby just may not be ready to, tell you when they have to go, because they may not feel it. They may not know. And that's where they rely on you to be able to know their patterns, like the thing with the eating and then having to go. Then there's also the argument of potty training too early, which is why child-centered approach became a thing, because potty training too early can cause elimination disorders like wetting the bed excessively or pooping without control. It could also do the opposite, where the children are holding it so long because they don't want to go to the bathroom that they get UTIs or they get constipated, and it's just not a good deal. So that is one of the things that you have to be really careful about, is making sure that the child isn't holding it too long, or they don't have like that control over it because they're too young to have that control over it. Another thing is support. This is not a normal practice in the US, especially in this day and age, so it is likely to be met with skeptics and criticism, maybe even from your own family, maybe even from your partner, which is really unfortunate, because I feel like everyone should be able to make their own decisions without having to hear about other people's criticisms. But it is one thing you have to look out for. If you don't care what other people say, then do what you want to do, but just you have to be ready to deal with that if it comes your way, because it isn't normal, and people always have so many things to say about things that aren't normal. And the last thing is messes. Again, accidents are inevitable. They're gonna happen. If you go completely diaper free, they're gonna happen more, because you'll have to clean them up because the diaper's not gonna catch everything. And even if you are using diapers, like, accidents are gonna happen, so you're gonna have to change diapers. It's just a process, and I guess that it's not linear. They're going to go through phases where they're doing really well, and then they'll have an accident or multiple accidents, and it's a learning curve. It takes time to get cues perfectly and get them to the toilet in time, so that can even cause an accident to take place, especially if you are like a stay-at-home parent. You have other responsibilities within the household. You could be doing something and miss baby's cue, and an accident happens. So those are the disadvantages. And my ending notes: you have to choose what's best for you and for baby. So if you have the time, you have the dedication, you want to be diaper free, obviously don't do it if you don't want to, but if you want to be diaper free, you want to teach them young so that you don't have to deal with it when they get older, because the older they get, the harder it is for them to grasp the concept, then elimination communication will be good for you. If you don't have the time, if you have a form of caregiving like a daycare or a nanny that isn't on board, like, it's not going to work, because they're going to be in the routine of not having to go to the toilet and just going in their diaper. So that wouldn't work for you. But overall, too, if it's just not working, if it's not clicking, if baby's not getting it, if you aren't getting the cues, whatever it may be, if it's just not clicking, then it's not clicking. So it's no pressure, no punishment. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It just isn't for baby or you. And that's okay. So a lot of parents will put it off, and they'll wait a little while after they get baby home, and the worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work and you go to diapers, like you do the normal thing. But best case scenario, you get to go diaper free, and baby learns how to go to the bathroom, so then when they're mobile, you don't have to teach them or reteach them. They just will do it because they know how to do it. Those are my closing notes and my references. I did the Baby Center Elimination Communication community. I use that community for a lot of the references about how to start the training and like how things don't go right. That group, they do have a lot of comments and people in it that share their experiences of it just not going well or going great. And then I use potty training, or not too early, not too late potty training timing need to be just right. That talks about the timing of things, not doing it too early. And then the last one is about the amount of waste that diapers create.